Yeah.
There's the riff right there, buddy.
Hey, you like that riff you heard there in the intro? Stick around to the end to hear the full tune for a chance to discover and support an awesome, riffy, two-piece rock and roll band. You're listening to another episode of A Band of Gamers podcast. We're three older best mates with a short podcast bringing you positive takes on the latest in gaming so you can spend your valuable free time enjoying your games, eh?
Ah.
In this episode, we got two classic Star Wars games coming or getting new life and releases, including one of my all-time favorite N64 games.
Really?
Yeah. Is this the end of optical ports on gaming consoles? A giant PlayStation release is delayed indefinitely. It's a great time to be a gamer, more so than usual. We got together this past weekend, joined Shay for a round of her favorite game, Did We Starve? ABOG's favorite racing game signs off forever, and Carl takes a trip to an alternate 1980s Russia. I'm Joel,
Oh, yeah.
your MC, one of your three co-hosts recording in a suburb of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, USA. Joining me on this podcast journey from across the globe, my two best mates, first of all, in Vancouver. Hold on.
Yeah.
Good grief. Just go with it. First of all, from Vancouver, Canada, smoke rings. I know you're going to blow one. It's Shane. Hey, Shane.
I swear those in Mother Russia, and then it's like in Mother Russia, Kitty buys you treats. No, I just remember that. Oh, crap. Yeah, doing good, man. Doing good, boys. Yeah. How you guys doing? How you been?
We're good. I'm good. Speaking for Carl, too, apparently. In Birmingham, England, enjoying trailer park life. It's Carl.
I am indeed doing good. And I've finally started watching the great show, Trailer Park Boys, on Netflix. It's here in the UK.
Oh, snap.
Yeah. Recommended by my buddy Shane over there. And yeah, what a ride this is so far. I think I'm on season 10 of 12.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, this is some good stuff right here. And it helps me see into the world of Shane a little bit. You know, some of the little things he says to me, and I'm like, man, I know where he's picked this up from. Great stuff, mate. Great recommendation. Helping me get through.
And you're rolling.
Worst case, Ontario.
Season 10 of 12. Holy smokes, man. There's movies, too. I mean, there's more content there. There's a cartoon now on Netflix. I've watched one episode. Didn't know what I thought of that. But there's because I didn't get to season 10. I got the proper show to go. Man, what a great show. Well, first off, we got some classic Star Wars games coming to the Switch and the PS4. Xbox One got the disc. It's not getting these games. We've got Star Wars Episode 1 Racer, which is the game I mentioned at the intro, is one of my favorite N64 games. Did you guys ever play that? Pod Racer?
Yeah.
I did not. I never played much N64. I don't think really, if any, not... Was it GoldenEye was on there, right?
Yes.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Yeah, I think that was like the only N64 game I ever played. By then, I was a little bit kind of grew out of video games at the time, and I had a PlayStation to play, NHL and FIFA, and that was really about it for throughout the 90s.
I get that. A lot of people, I think, probably remember. Was it Diddy Kong Racing? Was kind of the bigger. That and Mario Kart, I suppose, are the big racing games. But yeah, Episode 1 Racer was really good. There's a lot of people who didn't like pod racing from Episode 1. I kind of dug it. And yeah, like you, Joel, I thought this was a cracking game. So I'm looking forward to seeing this one.
Yeah, it had some good graphics for the time with the little memory booster thing the pack that you could put in the N64. And very twitchy style of racing. Make one mistake, you blow up. You got a little memorization with the courses, and it was just a lot of fun. Very, very flowing, smooth gameplay. I thought it was just a tight, and the N64 had that analog controller, so it was really a marriage of some great things coming together for making a great racing game. Let's see how it holds up. I'm anxious to try it again. With some improved graphics and updated modern controls.
Ooh.
Yeah, whatever that means. And the other Star Wars game, Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy, is out now for Switch and PS4.
Yep, good game. I think Jedi Knight 2 Outcast, I think is already out. Not so sure about this one. A good game. They're both good games, but the price of this, I think, is about 20 quid over here or something like that. And It's been out on Steam for a while for like, I don't know, £6 or £7. So it's going to take. I'm gonna pick it up when I see a price drop. I think there's a few other classic Star Wars games I've got on Steam that I wish I had on the PS4 just so I could hunker down, replay them for trophies. Empire at War. I'm looking at you, but yeah, looking forward to picking this one up and playing through it again.
I'm thinking of ways to get our community together. And one of the first things that always comes to my mind, sorry, Shane, is getting Shane to watch Star Wars and like everybody for the first time and everybody just being involved and part of that together. That'd be interesting.
Well, here's the ironic thing. There was a DVD releases that had the original theatrical on the second disc of all three. However, they were, if I read correctly, they're ripped from the Laserdisc, and they're not really the best quality. However, I have found them, and I do own them now.
What?
So it's it's a matter of time.
I'm jealous.
It's a matter of time now.
Those probably go for a pretty penny these days.
I'm sure if they're still sealed or whatnot, but luckily, maybe wherever I found them, who knows? Didn't realize that they do have that on there, but. Like I said, apparently the rip of them isn't really the best. They can be kind of grainy and whatnot, but I'm a grainy guy. My boys here can attest to that.
To be fair, I have seen those versions on Blu-ray a couple of times on eBay. I've almost pulled the trigger. They're called something like the deconstructed editions or something like that, which are basically the original theatrical release. I think the Laserdisc version of that was probably the best version that you could get from memory. So if they're ripped from that, it probably won't be bad, mate. It's probably a good idea to watch them. Maybe you could Twitch. I wonder if you could stream that. What if you could broadcast it on Twitch or whatever?
Probably not.
See you watching it. That could be fun.
Get shut down pretty quick.
Another Twitch account getting banned. But no, these ones are only on. There was one version of DVD that came out in the early 2000s that had them. There's a second disc, and that's like the only way to find them on DVD. Otherwise, if you go back and find the VHS tapes from like the mid 90s when they redid them on for VHS, that apparently is another great way to watch the originals. But we're getting there, baby steps.
Those are the ones I got, but no VCR to play them on. Of course, if we were to all watch together and like sync up a start play and then just Shane have his reactions. We'd have to watch the shitty newer ones because there's added scenes. We'd be out of sync pretty quick.
Right.
Yeah. The Xbox Series X is ditching the optical port. So, yeah, even if it's probably a couple bucks a console, so it's not a huge expense per console. But I heard Phil Spencer talking about this on IGN's Xbox Podcast Unlocked.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, it's just called Podcast Unlocked, but it's their Xbox specific podcast. And he said, based on the statistics that they have, they can check and see how many people are using the optical port through the online service or whatnot. Everyone's being watched, right? I mean, you know that's a thing.
Oh, yeah, naturally.
So they've got data to see who's all using optical ports, and apparently not a lot. So based on that and the price of adding it to a console, which may only be a couple bucks, he said admittedly, but if you're selling, let's say, 50 million consoles, which if they do similar to what Xbox One did this generation, 50 million times $1 is $50 million times $2, that's $100 million. That's quite a cost savings for something that people probably don't use a whole lot. Do you guys use your optical ports?
I do. And the reason I do is because I got my 4K TV. I got the 4K HDMI cable or whatever it is, the high speed one that you need. My receiver doesn't read that 4K.
Oh.
So in order for me to have my 4K video, I have to HDMI straight from my console into my TV, and I use the optical audio from the console into the receiver. and that way I can have my, because I got the surround, all that 5.1. I don't even know what it is now, but it's really good. And so in order to keep that sound and be able to enjoy 4K HDR gaming and whatnot, I that's what I had to do to get around that. But I like the optical is still fantastic. I mean, the technology's got to be 30, 35 years old, and it's still a great way to pass your audio signals.
Is it that old? 30? I suppose it is.
It's something like that. It had to been like late 80s, early 90s when it came out.
Yeah, I remember CD players and some
Yeah.
DVD players for sure had that early on. Carl, optical port?
No, never used it.
Yeah, he's a big optical guy, no?
He's wearing glasses.
No, I've never used it, to be perfectly honest with you.
Yeah.
I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Sony have already ditched this on the PS4, the slim one. I think it's on the Pro, but I think the slimmer version of the PS4, they've already canned it. So I'd be surprised if it was included in the PS5 at this point. I've never really had the need to use it, so I kind of, my opinion on this might be null and void. I think there are some good, like Shane said, there are some good pieces of equipment. Some good. If your gaming audio is that important to you, like I play a lot of games without any sound. Like I'll just turn the sound off, play some tunes, or watch a movie at the same time, multitask. So, or even play a second game at the same time. So, I don't tend to have the sound on an awful lot, to be fair. But yeah, I can understand if you've got the technology, if you've got the equipment, this is going to be a bit of an annoyance.
I was curious, Shane, with the video going through HDMI, high-speed cable, and then the audio going through an optical to your receiver, do you ever have any slight sync issues?
No.
Really? Oh, that's cool.
It's been rock solid. I thought about that at first. I'm like, I wonder if, but no, it's been fantastic. It's been really good, and I use my setup for everything. Like my receiver and surround, I use it just watching regular TV, watching the news, or listening to music through my PS4, or my turntable that I hook up to it. It's all there. So having something that's seamless like that, where I can just hit a button on the remote to go over to another channel to get my PS4 running or my turntable running, it's seamless. Basically, I don't want to have to, oh yeah, now I got to turn the stereo on because I want to listen to music, and then have the TV coming through TV. I always have the surround. I've always had it, gosh, since I was, I don't know, like a teenager. I've always had some sort of surround for listening to music and whatnot, and it works. It works great. The setup I have in the PS4 works fantastic for all that.
I kind of ditched the surround years ago. I used to have that. I loved it, having the 5.1 with the bass box and the sub and everything. It's just newer setup. Didn't want wires running all over the place.
That's
never sprung for like they make them like in Bluetooth now, where you can kind of link them all together and set them around.
I can't bring myself to go Bluetooth. I shamefully do have the wires. Got a bit of the spaghetti action behind my my TV and whatnot, and of course, because you're running wires down to the other end of the living room, I got where they kind of go across. I got a nice little like a mat that goes over them, so you don't really see them, and it's But yeah, I'm not a big fan of the spaghetti either.
Well, it's based on your room setup. I mean, my prior house, the front room had just the perfect setup where
nice
you could run it around the room. We kind of sat in the middle of the room, looked at the TV. You didn't see the wires. Now I'm in this really long basement room, the man cave, and it's like you'd be passing the wires right over a very common walking point. Just forget it. That's where I lean on my headphones. I get a good pair of headphones to get that surround sound, especially for gaming. I don't really use them for movies, but I'm an Astro guy. I've had the 40s forever, going back, I don't know, 5, 7, 8 years.
Yeah.
Ever since trying them at GDC. When you go to GDC, they give you pretty much the best, the best television, the best headset. So you're sitting there like, this game rules. Media goes out and says how awesome it is. But currently on my Xbox One X, I've got the A50s Astros, which is it's the wireless headset. So it's got a bass, just like the A40s have a mix amp, and they both take the optical input to get that really good audio. So when I first heard this news, I'm like, you promised that all the accessories would work. You said everything, the Elite controller, all the headsets, everything would work when the new Xbox Series X came out. And I heard Phil Spencer say on that podcast, he contacted all of the third parties using that optical port and worked out firmware updates and alternate methods so that apparently my headset will still work. It's a $300 headset. So I don't want to buy a new one just because the Series X comes out, right? But we shall see. Fingers crossed. But I use my optical port just for that. Otherwise, everything's passed through the HDMI. I don't even have a stereo under the TV anymore. Just all through the TV speakers. I just don't want to be fussed with it.
Damn. You're a brave man.
Yeah. I'm with you there, Joel. For the amount of actual television I watch, which isn't a lot, if I'm not streaming or doing that on the PC or whatever, I'm not that fussed. It's just sometimes the noise distribution is crap on TV speakers. So it'd be nice to have a little soundbar or something. But like you, mate, I can live without it. I don't watch a lot. Unless it's sport, and they just turn it right up anyway.
A soundbar would be nice because the TV volume is at like 80% sometimes, just to watch something. But those speakers are so crappy.
Well, yeah, you can't really. I mean, the TVs being so flat, you can't put a speaker in them anymore. They're just, the most generic, run-of-the-mill, cheapest thing that they can really toss in there for the sake of, your TV has speakers.
Yeah, you're right.
Now, give me my surround.
I think it's
all day long.
Cost-cutting measure. They could care less about the speakers in them TVs.
Yeah.
And then our analog turntable setups, our record players, that's a whole different system. That's not connected to my TV. There I've got some kick-ass speakers and a nice receiver, but it's a 70s receiver. You're not outputting RCA from the TV. You don't do that anymore.
No.
PlayStation going to throw an optical port in just to be like, hey, we got an optical port and the other guy doesn't? Or are they think they're out of that business?
Here's the thing. They've always prided themselves with great audio in the consoles. I mean, if you go back to the original PlayStation, I mean, that was, one of the best CD players for audio that you could find out there. It was incredible, right? So they've always prided themselves in great audio. So I could see them keeping it.
And if you look back at the presentation that Cerny did, there was a lot of gobbledygook in there, but he was pushing the audio quality of the PS5 and talking very heavily about this, independent kind of resource for sound. So again, maybe they will chuck that port in there, but who knows? It depends if they just save a couple of bucks or not, or a lot of bucks as it turns out. Yeah, we'll see.
But Cerny talked a lot about how the PlayStation 5 will process the audio, and even no matter what device you listen on, you're still going to get the benefit of that 3D audio. So that leads me to believe you don't have to have a specialized optical headset or stereo to take advantage. So I'm dubious. I don't know if I think this is done. I think this is it.
I guess Uncle Skip's got to save up and buy a new receiver.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of PlayStation, The Last of Us 2 delayed indefinitely. This was due out in May. We got a tweet from Naughty Dog, and I'm not going to read the whole thing, but just cue in on. However, even with us finishing the game, we were faced with the reality that due to logistics beyond our control, we couldn't launch The Last of Us Part 2 to our satisfaction. We want to make sure everyone gets to play The Last of Us Part 2 around the same time, ensuring that we're doing everything possible to preserve the best gaming experience for everyone. This meant delaying the game until such a time where we can solve these logistic issues.
Good. That's a good move. And that's a classy move.
What are what's the logistic issues? Is it just the manufacturing right now?
I'd say production of discs, being able to, get them widespread throughout the world. The world's, not the most social place right now. And it would be a real struggle trying to get people in their hands. And then also you got people showing up at stores trying to buy it. It's not a smart move right now to launch it. And I think that's very, very, very classy of them to just hold off, let the dust settle, and then everybody can enjoy it. Not everybody has that internet capability. Not everybody can, sit and download or have that access. And I think this is a really, really good move.
Yeah, I agree with Shane.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I wouldn't go so far as saying it's classy, but I think it's a necessary thing for them to do. We've seen Square Enix with a similar thing with Final Fantasy VII, the remake. They've just said, look, we're sending it out. It's out of our control. Some of you are going to get this thing early. Some of you are going to get this thing late. But we want to get it out. So I think it avoids the kind of issues that, Shane's just touched on there. It's going to avoid all that, shenanigans that people are going to have their game like 7 days before the release date. Some people are going to get it a week after, could get spoiled. This is a story heavy game with something that a lot of people have loved about that first game. People are going to be wondering what's happening to Ellie and Joel. So yeah, it makes a lot of sense to make sure when this is distributed, it's secure. It's in their control. So I think it's a sensible thing to do. Once the world returns to normal, I don't think it will take them long to get this in people's hands.
And they did say, so I should have read a sentence sooner. The good news is we're nearly done with development. We are in the midst of fixing our final bugs. So it's not a excuse because the game's not ready. It sounds like it's pretty close to ready. It is literally a logistics thing. Guess I believe them.
Yeah, I mean, that's all you can do.
It's just this. It's going to be a thin year, maybe. It's not.
Yep.
Not a lot coming out the end of these consoles right now. And the World Health Organization wants you to stay home and play video games. Probably not a surprise. But they have partnered with a number of studios from Activision and Blizzard to encourage people to self-isolate with the comfort of video game. Riot Games said it best. Games are a unique way to stay connected with friends and family, even if we can't play together physically.
Ain't that the truth?
There's a hashtag, play a part together, encourages more people to stay safe. I have not seen that hashtag used on any of our friends who are gamers. I think this, like I said, is an obvious sentiment. Shane was laughing, but right? I mean, come on. It's just cool the World Health Organization is the one saying this, not the gaming companies.
Right.
Yeah. And I've been thinking about this a lot lately because I've been talking to my parents, my in-laws, and they're bored. They're all cooped up. We're trying to teach them how to use online means to get their groceries and stay out of the grocery stores. And they're like, I'm so bored. Like they've got these piles of DVDs, right? They're probably not using the Netflix, not streaming a lot of stuff. And they're like, I'm just got nothing to do. I'm bored.
Yeah, man. It seems to be a popular thing floating around like social media pages and stuff like that. My folks, I'm lucky with it. They do play video games. I was on the phone to my old dear the other night, and she turns 70 this month. Bit of a shame, obviously, because she won't be able to see anybody for it. But she was on the phone going, son, I've been, that console I play with you and Luke, the handheld one. I think I fancy one of them. So she wants a Switch.
Nice.
That's
70
awesome.
years, yeah, 70 this month, man. She wants to switch in Animal Crossing and Bomberman, which she's played on since the Super Nintendo days when I put the controller in her hand. So I think it's something that I think people do realize. It helps to pass the time. It's immersive. It's fun. So a lot of the games that we play, we talked about Animal Crossing being a pleasant distraction, something that takes your mind off everything that's going on. So yeah, good on the Who for telling us. Well done, Daltrey and Townsend.
It is nice to have games right now. I'm also burnt out on the TV stuff, and it just feels like a good time to be a gamer. To have these interactive distractions are much more fun during this heavy time. It's a better distraction, I guess, than just flipping on a sitcom or watching Frasier for the 600th time, like I've done 599 times.
Huh.
We've got a lot of people looking to do some gaming in our Discord server. So if you're interested, if you want to hook up with some like-minded people, got a link in our show notes on the bottom of our website, abandonedgamers.com. Head over there. Got some Rocket League, Division 2, Don't Starve, Together. Bunch of stuff going on. So if you're interested in staying home and playing games with us, join our Discord server. Let's do it. We also got to get some virtual community hangouts together. Do like a Zoom video have some beers. I know we've done it amongst friends, but it'd be nice to add that to some community fun.
Oh, for sure. It's very, very good and necessary. Necessary right now.
Last
Totally
one.
down for that.
Love it. Last one we did on Friday night, Art said, good buddy Art, shout out to Art. The Switch, Carl, at least here in the US, very hard to come by right now. Because of those manufacturing impacts, it's like $450 on eBay, he said, for a Switch right now.
Wow.
And that's US.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got some. I think Amazon are struggling to have any in stock. We've got Argos over here. We've got quite a few from the different ones. They're low on stock. But they've got quite a few of the Switch Lights, which I think is what my old dear will probably go for. Because you can just sit and while away the time then, without worrying about having to figure out how the dock works and all the rest of the, taking the Joy-Cons off and whatnot. So, yeah, looking all right for supply over here. But yeah, people need to be acting quick.
When we're talking about playing games together, staying home, don't starve together. We had Shay on our last episode, my lovely wife. If you haven't heard that yet, go back. Animal Crossing review and Shay's input on health insurance. Fascinating stuff. I'm not laughing at her. That's just, it's not a great plug, but it is a good episode. So go back and listen to that. But we all got together, Shane, Carl, myself, Mikey, friend of the community, played Don't Starve together yesterday. What do you guys think of that game? We played for what, 2 hours?
Yeah, time flew. It's. I was thinking about this earlier. It's chill, but it gets frantic.
It does.
When that darkness comes, you better be ready. And ready a few times I was not, but it was great learning experience from a couple veterans, Shay and Mikey, and yeah, had a blast. Can't wait to do it again. The art style in that game, I love it. It's so great, gothic, really, really, really cool stuff, and yeah, it was a great afternoon.
Yeah, I concur. It was a lot of fun. I own this game already on the PS4. Well, apparently I own it, but it doesn't let me download it. So very strange. But I hadn't got. This is the original, not Don't Starve Together. So the original Don't Starve. I tried to buy it on PS4 because I thought, oh, sure, I've got this, and it said, oh, you already own this. But then when I went to download it, it just comes up with the price again. So I'm not quite sure what happened there.
It was a Plus game at one point.
Yeah, maybe that's it. But I can't.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm always good at just hitting the add to library for all those Plus games, but I know
Really?
it's in it somewhere. Yeah. You got to be quick.
Noted.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun. I mean, thank God Shay and Mikey have played a ton of this because, I kind of jumped into the group chat and I could hear her halfway through explaining how everything worked to Joel, and I'm like, I'm here. Like, and she went through the same with me and same with Shane. Just saying like, this is what you got. This is the basics you need to survive. Here's some flints and some sticks and some grass and stuff. Like you can, you've got to build a fire. You've got to have enough to build a fire. And like Shane says there, like a lot of the game is quite pleasant and it's quite nice, and you're walking around in the sunshine, and then it changes to dusk, like to the evening, and it gets a little bit orange, a little bit darker, and then you're kind of watching this little kind of clock in the top right hand corner, which the little nighttime chunk starts off rather little, but as the days go by, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So yeah, it can be quite calm but very frantic. I quite enjoyed it. I did die once or twice, I think, but it's part of the course. I think at one point the three of us were all ghosts together, so we certainly didn't represent, I don't think, as experienced gamers.
It's a very difficult game, though. I mean, Shay and Mikey are pros. I died the most. I think I died 3 times. And at the end, we were 3 ghosts. You need a touchstone to resurrect, which, as my wife told me later in the evening, is last ditch resort, not something you do repeatedly. But we did make it to like day 12, 11.
That was like 15, 16 almost. Bro.
Yeah, that's pretty good. It's pretty good.
We did all right.
She's made it into the hundreds.
What?
And that game just gets ridiculously crazy as you get further along. And she's had I've seen her in the hundreds, and it's like you've got a home base with like a fence, and you've got all this machinery, and you're cooking. I mean, the resource management in this game is something else. I mean, you really got to know and be mindful, and you've got a limited inventory. You have to
say, is it like living in the Arctic where it's like 23 hours a night? Like, man, it's insane.
I had fun with it. I'm looking forward. I think we're gonna try it this Saturday. Play it again.
Yeah.
Not doing nothing else.
Yeah.
Why not? It's a good social experience. It's funny. You die repeatedly. I think we'll do better this time. I know Mikey and Shay were impressed we made it that far. Even if we were just ghosts, not able to do much at the end there.
They had the dream team, so
yeah, definitely looking forward to getting into it again.
I played more Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing is doing their holiday Bunny Day. They don't call it Easter; they call it Bunny Day.
Yeah.
And I am not a fan of this Bunny Day. I love Animal Crossing. I'm not ready for Bunny Day. Put the Bunny Day stuff aside. I'm still early on in my Animal Crossing game. I just want to play the normal Animal Crossing. Rather than the Bunny Day stuff, rather than being a fun event in an already grinding game, as far as saving up bells and paying off all Tom Nook and all of his home improvements. Now I've got to grind eggs. I'm really not liking it. You can, when you're fishing, you can fish up an egg. You dig a hole where you think you're digging a fossil, you dig up an egg. If there's a present in the sky, which you shoot down with your slingshot, it has an egg. There's trees with eggs growing on them. There are a different variety of eggs that you can then use to make these cutesy looking, not anything I want, egg related furniture and shoes. And I am not liking the Bunny Day thing at all. It's just it's slowing up my regular Animal Crossing progress. Not to be a negative ninny, I still love this game, but my hope is that they don't do this for every holiday. Okay, fine. Easter eggs, I got it, but okay. But don't Christmas season, whatever they call it, Reindeer Day. I don't know what they're going to go with Christmas.
Right.
But all the different holidays, Halloween, don't make me go find different bits of don't make it grindy like that. Have it be a relaxing sidetrack, not another grind in an already kind of grindy game.
Could you imagine? We did a great review of this last week, and go check it out if you haven't listened yet. Episode 210. Could you imagine on the back of that, I'm going to get me some Animal Crossing? Like, you boot it up, and all you get are these bloody eggs. So, it's creating a bottleneck for people already straight away. It's like, you got to collect, how many iron nuggets to build your shop. You ain't got a hope in hell, man, because every time you're hitting the rocks and stuff, you're getting an egg pop out every now and again. You should be getting a nugget. Trying to chop down trees, you get eggs everywhere, like with fish. Like, it's such a nightmare. Like, I get that they want to make it cutesy and nice and stuff, but I've just got a bundle of these, and I'm waiting for the creepy bunny man to come back to sort of give him these things and get rid of him, and people who pick this game up are probably like, what the hell's this? Like, is this it? Like, it's just awful. It's just
Egg
awful.
Simulator. Make it happen.
I was saving the eggs like you, Carl, for the creepy bunny to show back up, because then I forget what that bunny's request was, something like have a bunch of eggs and I'll give you something special. I think it was more like make everything, all the DIY egg recipes, make all of that stuff, and then you'll get a special gift. No, thank you. So
you get an egg house to live in.
Oh my God.
I hope not.
So I put it in my storage in my house. I was just saving all the eggs, like accumulating them. Then I took them to the little Nook Boys shop and sold a few. Ka-ching. All those eggs are worth a decent little chunk of change.
Ooh.
So yeah, that's the silver lining with the eggs. Just cash them in. Cash in the creepy bunny eggs and pay off your home quicker.
Yeah, I might do that, because whatever the gift is, I don't think it's going to be something that's going to fit in with my gaff, to be honest. I've just paid off my second mortgage with Tom, so I've got an extra room now, which
Ooh.
I thought it was going to turn into something cool, but it's actually turned into a gym. Just because of the stuff I've picked up. So it's got a little exercise bike in there, punching bag, and exercise ball, stuff like that, and a couple of ventilation units. But yeah, like I might do that. I might trade those eggs in and just start paying down this 398,000 bell mortgage I've got just for the one
398.
extra room. But I'm
Damn.
not judging. He's got to make his cut, hasn't he? So yeah, but roll on when these eggs are gone.
I hope they're gone by Easter, which I think is mid-month, right?
Yeah.
I hope it's a 2-week extravaganza.
Next week.
Is it?
Well, actually, yeah.
End of this week, yeah.
Yeah, it's Good Friday. I think this
So there
this
you go.
Friday.
You got like a week to enjoy your eggs, eh?
Oh man. Yeah, just not what I was hoping for. They haven't done this before in the prior iterations of this game. This egg grind. This is new. And I'm not alone. I've read quite a few internet articles where the people are like, "Oh my god, this egg thing is not cool. Stop it." And everybody's thinking just like me, like, just don't do it again. If you want to do it every bunny holiday, fine. But don't make every holiday one of these big grind fests that interfere with the actual fun in the game. Shane, I saw your Instagram post. Got the album, you've got the game, you've got the download, and you were I don't know. Of all the gaming podcasts out there, it's tough to compete. But I would put us at the top of the list with our love for Driveclub, especially you, Shane. It's done, right? They put it to bed. They shut down the servers.
Yep. From day one, man. Love this game. Recommended it to everyone. Always stood by it, and got a lot of shit for it too. Got trash talked over it. All sorts. I don't know what I'm talking about. You don't know racing games. All dude, for months and months and months, year upon year, always, but Driveclub, amazing game. And now everybody's singing its praise.
Really?
Now everybody's coming around singing its praise. So,
of course. Like when someone dies.
Yeah.
No one could give a shit, but once they die, it's like, "Oh my god."
Exactly. You didn't hear the Ramones on the radio ever, and then they all pass away, and every day I Want to Be Sedated, Blitzkrieg Bop, they're all getting played. And that's always bittersweet to me. But anyway, man, back in 2014 Driveclub came out. So great. It had a tough start with the servers, and I think it was almost too ambitious, kind of racing in clubs and whatnot, and the score chase. I think it was a little bit ahead of its time. I think it was something to launch now or next gen on Series X, PS5. I think it would be right at home, and I think a lot of racing game the hell's that word?
I don't know, man. I know where you're going with
Developers.
That. There you go.
See, I get tongue-tied at times when I'm passionate about certain games.
There you go.
It's okay. I
They've
can't
all
even
taken
say
a little bit, here and there, and it was a hell of a run. Evolution Studios, they supported the hell out of this game. They busted their ass. There were so many cars that they added, so many new events, so many DLC packs. I think there was like 20, possibly somewhere around there. They added the VR support. There's a VR game that was, quite a bit smaller and whatnot, but it was, excellent that they went and did that. They added the bikes pack, brought some motorcycle racing to the game, which I'm not a fan of, but I had fun doing it, and it was great. It's just, it's a shame that kind of what happened, and it's always, what could have been. And, I got so much enjoyment out of it. I still play it, regularly, still booting it up, even over the past week that they've shut it down, still gone in and played. It's kind of sad not seeing, our club up there, our level 45 club, capped out club. We had some great racers, And, it was a fantastic experience. I think the game, despite being 30 frames a second, it's still gorgeous to this day. To this day, you put it in and it is still gorgeous. The weather effects changed gaming. The weather effects changed gaming. Developers delayed games at that time after Drive Club added their weather effects to it to up theirs, and it's still one of the most beautiful out there. The vehicles, the audio, the engine sounds. Manufacturers like BMW updated their digital library with audio files from Drive Club. People, amazing game. It's just from every corner, amazing game. People are upset that, you cut a corner and you get penalized. Yeah, you don't be cutting corners. You got to race. This is the big leagues, son. And I just love the game. Love the game so much. Got the, I've bought them digitally. I got them, the physical copy sealed because, bit of a collector. I've got that. I've imported special editions that come with, stickers and all sorts of jazz. I got the vinyl, the double vinyl soundtrack, which is excellent. Going on a bit of a drive, there's times I put that on. Listen, it's a great soundtrack, and it's it's a shame. It's a shame it'll happen. It's a shame that the servers finally did get shut down. I understand with licensing, it ended up having to delist the game off the PlayStation Network and whatnot. But it had a hell of a run. And I know there's a lot of people out there, that are very passionate about this game, especially in our community. We've had many community challenges going around. We've had a great time, throughout. And, the shit talkers are usually, the minority. They usually are, and that's what happens. But still one of my favorite games, one of my all-time favorite racing games. Continue to play it. It's a great platinum trophy, which unfortunately now that the servers are down will be unattainable. But I got mine. I know a lot of my friends that got theirs as well, and it's just a great game. So I did a little bit of an Instagram post on there, just kind of saluting, showing respect, and just putting up some cool pieces that I've accumulated over the years to kind of show off and say thanks to the guys at Evolution.
It was a very classy post, man. And I just wanted to give you another opportunity to gush. It used to be a weekly occurrence.
Right.
It's been a while since you've gushed about this game, and I agree, man. It's a great racing game. Yeah, I want to give a shout out to Tim Paulin, who quite a few years ago pulled together community race weeks. We posted those on our website. That was a great time. It was even an angry spouse, right? Because her husband was so busy. I won't name any names. Husband was so busy playing the game. He's like, knock it off. Quit putting these up every week. I want my husband back. It was a great time.
It was. And I have to admit, I am still bitter that I don't have all three of the pre-order cars. I mean, first world problems. Was never able to find a code. Hit Evolution up, was unable to get that last car. So every once in a while when I pick a certain event and that model of car is there, at the very end of the list, it's all grayed out and it's just, it's too bad. But when I'm passionate about games, man, I got to have everything that, goes in there, just like my pinball arcade. Got to have all the tables, even if I don't like them, got to have them there, got to have that variety. And so big salute to Drive Club. Thank you very much for all the memories, and be continuing to play for a long time.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Drive Club. Carl's been hanging with the boy in a game, and the youngins.
Yeah, getting my ass kicked. No, actually not, which was surprising. Yeah, I've been practicing my social distancing with the lad, and because he doesn't live with me, we thought, well, we'll play some more online games together, try and get that going, and as I crack a drink and a cheers to myself, we played some Apex Legends, and I didn't suck.
Ooh.
Yeah, surprising. I watched the boy, every now and again he'll send me like a WhatsApp video of him being ace at games, and I'm like, it brings a tear to my eye, look at him. And he sent me one a couple of weeks back on Apex, and he took out like 2 squads on his own or whatever, beast mode. I was like, wicked. So I installed it on Origins on on the PC. Like I played on the consoles before. I tried it on the Xbox and the PS4. Never did particularly well. Kind of ended up with like a kill every 4 games or something. Just as you expect from a 41-year-old. Kind of the reflexes aren't what they were, and I was quite surprised after like a little break from it. Went back in to the tutorial again, and yeah, man, I was getting at least 1 kill every game. I took out a squad on one of them as well. I think I was doing him proud. I was actually better than him as we were playing, which never happens. There's a couple of new characters in the game which I was kind of intrigued by, so I'm kind of saving up some of these points now to pick them up. But no, that game's good. Like they've changed the map around again, so we were coming at diving in there, and I had no idea where we were going or what we were doing. But it's such a slick shooter. It really is. You can just drop back in and have a ball with it. And yeah, I was quite impressed with myself, if I do say so. But it's I'm sure it won't last. I'm sure next time we play, I'll get my ass handed to me. But it was a pleasant surprise.
How'd the boy like his old man beating him?
Well, we were on the same team, and in the one match, I actually revived him, I think 3 times. And then when he was killed, you kind of have to take the battle tag into a machine and resurrect. So I actually resurrected him once as well. So he was I think he was quite chuffed we were playing together. I was doing quite well. So yeah, it's just good fun, man. It's just a good way of bonding with your kids, and yeah, it just gave me that kind of that bug a little bit for it. So I should be playing that a little bit more. So if anyone out there is still playing Apex, give me a shout. We'll jump on and play a little bit. I've also been checking out Game Pass. I think in this time where I'm kind of working from home and I've got little hours here and there to fill with some gaming, some little bits I can pick up and just play, and just get into for an hour at a time. And game come out on Game Pass. I think it was last week or maybe the week before. Which I've always liked my 2D brawlers, my side-scrolling beat 'em ups ever since back in the day when we had some cracking ones in like Double Dragon and Turtles, Streets of Rage, all those good ones. And Mother Russia Bleeds dropped on Game Pass. Now, this is a cracking little pixel style, kind of somewhere between an 8 and 16-bit in terms of graphic style. It's really, really brutal. It came out on Steam about 4 years ago, 2016-ish, and always been on my wish list. Never quite picked it up because I've got so many of these games and I never play them. And one of the reasons why I don't really play them is it's kind of a ball ache to play on your own. You can pick 3 or 4 characters and you end up on your tart just wandering around and getting your ass handed to you if you haven't got a buddy to play with. Good thing about this game, A, it's on Game Pass, no brainer. B, you can have the computer just take control of the other characters. So if you want to kind of put 1 or 2 or 3, you can choose, and you've got some computer buddies to fight with, and they're not bad. They're actually not bad. So I kind of like that little tweak to it. So you're not on your own getting outnumbered by all these dudes, but it is very violent. There's blood going everywhere. You kind of, as you're fighting people, you beat them to a pulp in a pixel style, and they kind of lie twitching on the floor after you've done them in. It is set in an alternative 1980s Russia, which we did cover in the original there. And these characters are kind of 4 wrestlers that are captured, and they have to come out to try and overthrow the people who've caught them. And it's a bit crazy as they go. But yeah, I'm having a real fun time with it. It's got a nice little, again, a different mechanic. You can heal yourself in the game, but you don't necessarily have to pick up a power up to do so. You've got like a hypodermic. You can inject yourself to heal yourself.
Ooh.
Yeah, because you've been basically tested on, and you're all screwed up. So you kind of need this drug to keep you going. So you get a limited number of heals. I think it's 3. And the cool bit is once you defeat a baddie and he's on the floor, you've got a limited amount of time to kind of plunge your needle into him and draw out this drug from his system, and you can heal yourself with that as well after. So there's kind of a little bit of tactics in there. You don't get the random health drops, but you've got your own control over it. Again, something a little bit different that they kind of tweaked in the formula. So which I really enjoyed. That and the other characters being bots make it pretty cool. Yeah, definitely worth checking out. I'm not sure if it's on console Game Pass because I've got it on PC, but I assume it is because it's a basic game. yeah, definitely. If anyone's on there playing that, hit me up because it's a blast.
I'm not sure either. Game Pass, there's so many games on there, I can't keep up.
Yeah, that's my thought. I'm like, I'm paying the subscription for it. I might as well jump on and try. I'm trying to play a new one every week, just like even if I give it an hour or two, just to report back and see what sticks for me.
Trying to think of the next game to play. I've got Don't Starve. Now that my wife and I are playing together, I think that'll be a regular occurrence. Plus, we'll get us guys together to do it every weekend. Animal Crossing's always an hour a day. Debating. Do I go back to Red Dead? I'm going to give that another shot, Red Dead 2, or what am I going to do? And then I remembered Shane and I were going to play Resident Evil 2 together.
Ooh.
Is it time? Where are you at with your gaming palette, Shane? What do you think? I mean, later in the year, you ready for that yet? It is kind of an odd time, the spring right now. Kind of a heavy time to be playing like a spooky, deathy game, but
right.
Just curious.
With a bunch of infected, yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking more of like when it gets to October, we get more into Halloween. I think it would
that's cool.
Really suit it there. I'm actually taking this week off of work, just trying to eat up a little holidays, alleviate a little bit on the payroll, do my part, and I'm actually gonna jump back in and tackle a bit of Red Dead this week.
Ooh.
So
okay.
Damn.
The last mission I did in Red Dead was about a week ago, and it took me about 40 minutes to do one mission.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I kind of was like, oh, okay, well, that's it for a few days and whatnot. Then I was like, take some time off and got a few hours in the day to, maybe do a mission or two or whatnot. I'm sure there'll be quicker missions, but that just happened to be one that, kind of just took longer. So going to try to make a bit of a dent in it and start really making my progress through it and try to wrap it up this year.
All right, you inspired me, man. I'll get back at that. I was playing some Breath of the Wild, but it's like my third time going through it. I mean, I almost got through it once. Then I played it a second time because I wanted to start over now that I knew like a bunch of things. So it would feel like the third time through it, at least through the first like 75% of it. And it's feeling a little like a slog fest. Like I've done this before, I need something fresh. I've just been debating what to do. So Red Dead 2 it is. I'll try and get back at it. The goal for this year, we mentioned it a bunch of episodes ago, like the backlog challenge, right? And having fun with our games. And it's just been one of those games where it feels like a trudge sometimes, but I do love the world. And I think it's not too heavy of a thing right now for what we got going on in the world. Yeah. It's distractive enough.
Yeah. It's kind of where I'm at too. So
all right. I like that. Thanks for the nudge.
I think I may end up putting a poll out for what to play next.
There you go.
Right. Yeah.
You've got that really cool Mothlight shirt on. I like that, Carl. Well, MGC was supposed to be this weekend, Midwest Gaming Classic, canceled because of everything. But Mothlight played what, last year, 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Great band. Listening to a lot of music right now.
Same.
It's a great way to keep your mind off of things and quick in and out. I've discovered this record a couple weeks ago at the recommendation of call him a friend, probably more of an acquaintance. But Eric Arsnow, he used to be in Tiger Knight. Now he is in Devil's Teeth.
Oh, yeah.
Really cool guy. Good music taste. One of those guys that when you hear him recommend something, you always got to look into it. He's on it. He's always got excellent taste. He recommended this on his Facebook a while back. North by North. The album's called Get Weird. Spoke highly of it, said they're his friends. I had to click through. I had to give it a listen, and I felt like right away, I fell for it. Like, this is a great album. They've got on their Bandcamp. It's northbynorth.bandcamp.com. They've got a couple different variations on vinyl, if that's your thing, and it's our thing, right? We do that. They had a transparent burgundy and pink, and a toxic green. It's like a yellow and a green splatter. It's the one I went with. And a black, of course. If you're an audio purist, you may be like, no, the black sounds better. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
That's a thing.
Always. Of course.
Yeah. And it's also available on digital, and you could download the MP3s and everything. You heard a tune at the intro there. I asked my boys here to give it a listen. What do you guys think of this North by North Get Weird record?
I like this record. Actually, he's got some pretty clever, some great riffs. Gets into some grooves. And how great is that album cover? We'll have that in the notes for you to take a look at, but that's one badass album cover. It got me right away and got me into the record a little bit more. But yeah, it's solid stuff, man. Great little 2-piece.
Yeah. I didn't realize it was a 2-piece, to be fair. I've gone listening through this just thinking it was a full band, but that's surprising.
Yeah, working from home, it's been a great background music. It's I hate to say that. That's it's a great foreground music too, but I've just played it over and over again. There's been a few days here working from home where it's been on repeat like all day long. It's that good of an album. So check it out, please. Now's the time. Support those local and indie artists. If you got a couple bucks, this might be one you should look into. Order the vinyl or just buy the MP3s. Give them your support. Give them your love. Tell them we sent you. That's northbynorth.bandcamp.com. I'll link in the show notes if that's easier for you. But let's play out the end of the episode with a tune off that record. Lots to pick from. Couldn't decide on which one. I think we probably all have different choices for which one we'd play out. We're going with My Friends Will Hurt Your Friends.